What's up, kittens and intergalactic family? Welcome to Planet Kitten, insights, observations from my multidimensional experience to yours. I'm just doing this. I have had so many confirmations in my reality from whether it was conversations with people or other content that I've found on YouTube, or rather found me, of just, I've had this idea that I wanted to have these random conversations and I'm going to do it, and I'm doing it. And I feel really, I did numerologically choose this day, which also happened to be, I was looking for the next 3 day, which today is the 21st. So 2 + 1 is 3. And 3 is the number of communication. So I did intentionally say like, okay, the next 3 day. And today was a 3 day. And it's also the winter solstice. So happy winter solstice to everybody. However you are cultivating this energy to really reflect back in your own life. I know for me, I did take a lot of time today to do some future self meditations. I did a lot of journaling, really just coming into the sense of the ending of this chapter. Also a reflection of just the fact that, 9 days ago was the new moon, and also Mercury retrograde began. So this sense of really embracing that energy of slowing down and thinking about not only just what has happened, reflecting of today, reflecting on this whole year, and really allowing this time, space, reality to be a place of reflection to help me with preparing for the next steps of whatever that manifestation in the 3D is going to look like. I have been gratefully back on my morning routine of walking. I really, for a good portion of the time that I was in another location, I really just did not prioritize walking. And for me, walking has always been something that really supports my mental health. It gets me outside, it gets me moving. The other day I walked 4 miles. It was so delicious. And during that time, that 4 miles, I feel like my shoulders are like in my ears. Let me just like relax for a hot second. This is being brought to you by my delightful camping chair that does go everywhere with me. And I'm grounding with my rock that I've had this rock for about a year and a half or so. So anyways, I like to hold it when I'm talking, like if I'm on a Zoom meeting. Actually, one of my mentors, Dr. Jhené Kafai, she did a whole presentation on the acceptance within oneself of having something like a fidget toy or something just to hold on to, and really just overcoming perhaps someone's internal discomfort of what other people might think about, like if someone is having a fidget toy or holding something like a rock or whatever it may be. I personally really like holding the rock. I think back in undergrad, actually, a professor was like, I always hold a paper clip in my hand when I'm giving a presentation, so I have something to do with my hands. For me, this rock is more of just like, I'm really leaning into the 4 elements today because it is the winter solstice. So I'm enjoying this, holding this rock to be grounded and just continue to be very connected to the earth. So I was talking about how I have been going on my walks again. And then the other day I went on a walk and I started a new book. So I always like to suggest support your local library, get your library card, because they have the dopest app called the Libby app, which I still chuckle because I never understood why it was called Libby. And then I was like, library, Libby, it's a nickname. Also, in my universe, that was my great grandmother's nickname. So for me, I was just like, oh, that's fun. Thanks, Gigi, for always providing me with a lot of knowledge. Which actually, now that I said that out loud, I'm kind of like, how curious that would be manifested into my reality. because my Gigi was actually somebody who bestowed a lot of information to me. So an homage to Libby, also known as Gigi in my world. So I started reading this, listening to this book, and I'm going like very incrementally slow through it, like at a slower pace than I normally do. Mainly because I have a lot of content, and I'm in this like exact moment in my life where I'm having a lot of content, a lot of new content coming in that is preparing me for, I would really say like probably definitely 2024, like a lot of the vibrations and a lot of the information that I'll need to know and integrating that into my future self, and also preparing me for, I would imagine, several quantum leaps that will happen, because I currently am living in a completely new reality than even what I was living in a couple of months ago. Honestly, a couple of weeks ago. The content, the quality, the people, the experiences that have been continuously flowing into my awareness, I'm so grateful to be able to have the frequency to allow for these things to come in, and also be able to hold the frequency to understand what it is that I'm hearing. Middleton has a quote that goes along, actually, it's a poem that if you identify as a body of culture, I highly suggest reading this poem, because wow, it was really, it had come to me like early on in the beginning of my Kemetic studies, and I really am now starting to be able to digest and understand so much more in so much more depth exactly what he was talking about. And the quote is, paraphrasing, of may I know what I see and may I know what I see and I hear, and understand what I see and I hear. So I'm in that sort of like hermit. You know, you don't know, I'm going to share this with you. I really try to do my best to not have to start recording when I know that I don't have a timer that's going to go off and I forgot to check. And of course, now I'm going to have to splice this video together because of the fact that a timer went off. And it wasn't even an affirmation alarm. It was just a straight up timer, which honestly, I kind of don't, it is what it is. I'm moving forward. Okay, so I was talking about Lister Middleton and his quote, and the idea of really for me, being able to understand what I hear and understand what I see, and then being able to filter that through the awareness of source within me, rather than externally just taking in information and then kind of being like a follower rather than an integrator. And with the book that I'm reading now, listening to, it's called, I have my notes up ahead, so that's why my eyes are up. David Brooks, author of How to Know a Person, The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen, he talks about this concept of the static mindset. And this is from chapter 2. It says, some people formed a certain concept of you, one that may have even been largely accurate at some point in time. But then you grew up. You changed profoundly, and those people never updated their models to see you now for who you really are. And as I'm in this very intense purge of relationships and mindsets and beliefs and behaviors that no longer support the ascension that I'm in, this idea of the static mindset I thought was really profound, in the sense that I subscribe to having and cultivating and nourishing a growth mindset opposed to a fixed mindset. And that's out of the book Mindset by Dweck. And I think that's a really great book within itself. And now having this, again, this next layer of the static mindset, and how does that not only influence the relationship that I have with myself, the relationship that I have with others, and essentially blocking off any projection of other people that they may be putting on me because they don't know me now in this moment in time. And also creating that space and grace for other people that they knew a version of me. And whatever that experience was for them may have not been a positive one. It may have been a negative experience for them. There might have been trauma that had happened, in a sense, between the two of us at that time, of that not being, maybe at that time that wasn't equally yoked relationship. Maybe at that time there was both the messenger and the message, the receiver and the giver of the message, whatever that dynamic was. And now, for me, if that person is no longer within my frequency, I'm holding space for who I used to be and who they were at that time, without projecting onto them an expectation of that is who they are today. I genuinely hope and wish for all people, no matter how, even with 1 second I was passing somebody on the subway or having a multi-year friendship with somebody, I strongly desire and hope and wish that people that I have a memory of are no longer that same person, because I know that I'm not the same person. And even if we are not a vibrational match anymore, the idea of just growth is really what I desire for people to experience. And however that growth may look like, whether it's a centimeter or a mile or 17 quantum leaps, no matter what, the intention is still that individuals are able to continue to progress through this experience. I recently heard the term, I've been watching a lot of GG33 numerology content. There are some really, really great conversations that he's having over there. And I lost my train of thought. Can I get the tiger back? Talking about numerology. Gosh. Well, sometimes that happens. And again, space and grace for myself, that if I don't remember something, I'm like, okay, that wasn't meant to be conveyed at this time. And I've been implementing this a lot more, like actually in relationships and in conversation, where I just like ask the other person, like, I just need a couple of seconds to see if I can get this thought back. And if I cannot get the thought back at that moment, then I'm like, it just wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. And being able to move forward. I feel like sometimes, like in the past, I've spent a lot of time just like perseverating of like, I need to get this thought back. I need to get this back. I need to get it back. And it's just like, I am trying to remain in this consistent flow of energy, and also understanding that at times, if I am forgetting something, there's a reason why. And if I'm able to recall it back, okay. And if not, okay. I'm just continuing on the conversation. That's been like that's been a major theme for me with this past, I'd say even 1 to 4 months, of the ability for myself to give myself space and grace while I'm in conversation, either with myself or with others, or whatever the experience may be, just allowing the energy of space and grace for myself to move through something. And I'm realizing that the more that I do that for myself, either independently or in relation with others, it's being reflected back even that much more, that people are giving me the space, and also giving themselves the space to process, to understand, to contemplate whatever it is that experience is going on. And I feel like I'm being like very vague in the sense where I'm like, whatever that experience is. And I'm saying that because, one, that's kind of like how this information is coming through me right now. And also, not all situations are the same. And like even pumping my gas, right? Like if I go to the gas station, I might go to a different gas station. I might go to a different pump. I might have to wait 5 minutes one day and not have to wait another day. So the situations are very fluid and are really based on like whatever it is that I'm reflecting in at that time. So I'm going to turn it all the way back around to the static mindset here of allowing myself to honor the many different versions of me and where I have been in my life. And whatever those behaviors were, whatever those mindsets were, whatever those intentions were, all of those experiences were important and were pieces of sand of the beach that is of my life today. And this idea of the static mindset of allowing other people to work through whatever it is that they need to work through. And for me, it's that sense of a lot of external projection, that if someone is not willing to see me as I am today, that is not a me problem. That's a them problem. And maybe not even problem. Like it's not a me perspective. It's a them perspective. And it's a them perspective because of their static mindset of this person needs to be this way because that is how I remembered it. That's how I remember them. That's how they acted. That's who I have created their avatar to be at that time. And over the past going on 2 years now, I have just consistently changed and evolved and moved through, again, beliefs, mindsets, relationships. I feel like one of the things that has been reflected a lot to me in the last several weeks is that my cutoff game is really strong. That if I'm in the experience where I am feeling that I am unequally yoked with someone, and this is both perhaps an intimate partner, a job, a friend, a stranger, if I do not feel the energy is in alignment, that the energy is not equally yoked, I am like, peace out, Girl Scout, I gotta go. Going back to the quote of Lister Middleton of, may I know what I see and know what I hear. Putting that into action. That if I'm starting to hear things, if my bodysuit is starting to react negatively or differently, that it doesn't feel harmonious because of what someone is saying or how they're behaving or just generally what their energy is like, I am comfortable enough with myself to say, I need to protect my energy and I'm not going to continue engaging in this experience because it is not nourishing me. It is draining me, or maybe it's not even the same energetic level. And for me, I'm also practicing checking myself that I'm not becoming, I like to think about when I got my teacher training certificate, like I was going through that process, I think it was like a year program. I was annoying. Like, I was very annoying. I was holier than thou. I was like, what do you mean you don't know about the Bhagavad Gita? What do you mean you don't know about prana? Like, I was just obnoxious. And I can accept that because a past version of me was very obnoxious when it came to knowledge and information and conveying that to other people, 11:11 on the clock, conveying that to other people because when I had been a codependent people pleaser, I was trying to show off, peacock for other people through this very like niche information. I was the type of person that if there was like I would find like very obscure indie music, and then I'd be listening to my indie music, and then if that particular group, instead of being like really excited for that particular group or person, or even just that song becoming really popular and blessing whoever was like involved with creation of that song, I'd be like, I can't listen to this music anymore. It's too mainstream. It's too this, it's too that. Like trying to differentiate myself so much so that I was ridiculously, now that I reflect back, yet still honoring that version of me, the sense of only I can listen to this music. And it's like, honestly, everyone has access. Well, that's a generalization that I don't want to use. The sentiment is that it's ridiculous for me to have placed so much importance on having this niche, obscure information, the music, and then being hoity-toity about it if no one else knew about it. When it was kind of like, bro, internally to me, like, you didn't want other people to know this music. So then why are you trying to now be bestowing it upon other people. Like, it even sounds confusing as I'm saying it out loud, because I'm just like, I was being extra. And no, don't read all about it. Anyways, it gives me this opportunity right now to share back and reflect and be like, I have grown a lot. And people who have made known me at those moments in my life do not necessarily know me. Actually, I can say definitively, do not know me today, because I have just evolved so much. The essence of my inner child, the essence of these past versions of me are still with me like a rushing nesting doll. However, the version in which I'm able to present now in this time, space, reality, literally now, will evolve in this next second, in this next second, in this next second. Even now, right here, I just had 2 revelations about the Libby app and, wait, what was the one I just had? Oh my gosh. You know, I'm not even embarrassed about it. I'm just like, it's staying. I'm trying to think about what was I, too many tangents. That's what happens. I'm like, I was considering like, should I do bullet points or notes? Because that's what I did when I was I had recorded in September every day. I was doing Operation Unbothered. And honestly, I just want to be able to sit here. Sometimes I might close my eyes to allow the less external stimulus to take me off my path of communicating. And yeah, I'm just, many thoughts just came downloading into my mind. I opened my eyes and it was just like all these things. Anyways, I'm having a really good time having this conversation. I kind of want to put a pin in it. I feel like this was a little bit, it was very loosey-goosey. It is going on YouTube, and I'm just going to let it be what it is, because at the end of the day, I'm just like really grateful to even have this, to have, like, I've been procrastinating a lot. Like, I was having a very fixed mindset. I was having fear of just being able to chat, which feels very strange to me. Even like as the days have passed, I'm just like, what is my hesitation about wanting to just press record and have a conversation? I'm still working through that. I do lean towards a bit of feeling that the information that I have been bestowed upon and that I am engaging with right now, this content, is just so much outside of where I have been, that even for myself, I feel like a little Bambi legs of, I'm still recalibrating to all this information, while also understanding that I have done so much self-study, I have done so much work, that I'm always asking people this question: what are you doing to help save the world? And with that, knowing that there are souls assigned to me, there are souls assigned to you that are waiting for that moment to overcome the matrix programming, to be able to put the message out, to put the content out, to put the information out, whether that is writing a book, whether that's making a song, whether it's making a YouTube video, whether it's literally going to your local senior citizen home and having a conversation with someone, or volunteering at the local school to be able to mentor today's youth. There's just so many ways that for myself that I have been hesitant on moving forward with sharing. Like, I've been doing all this work. There are things that I have learned. There are techniques and there are strategies and there is insight that I have, that I know I have gone through this path to be able to support the souls that have been assigned to me. And for me, needing to overcome this fear of, well, am I making sense to people? Is this the best lighting? Do I have like the coolest thumbnail? Like these sort of like very secular ideas that have been more like cement shoes these past like several months, that I know that I have been wanting to do this. And now I'm just like, I need to just do it. I need to see what happens and allow for the universe to work with my committed action steps, with my inspired action, because I know that this isn't just about me, that there are so many more people outside of myself to pollinate with, to share information with. And coming from a place of a peer, of a person who has had a lived experience, and simply sharing what I have been doing, because there's a lot of content on YouTube. And I know I consume a lot of it and I go through a lot of it. And it has been a process to allow for all of these different content creators and this different information to come to me and process. And the biggest thing that I have, whether it's me as a supervisor or a business owner or a friend or a peer to somebody, that it is, in my opinion, it is the responsibility of each and every soul on this earth to support somebody else through their lived experience, through their learning process, through whether it is a direct mentor-mentee experience or a modified experience of that the mentor is depositing into somebody else, the mentee, all the knowledge that they have in that experience. Like, they've already, gone through levels 1 through 10, and now at level 11, they're able to pass the baton to that mentee and let that mentee carry on, and then allow them to do the same process. So I'm really embracing this experience of passing on the information that I have gathered and synthesized to be able to support the souls that are assigned to me, and also allow this to be a self-reflection for myself of where I've been, where I am now, and where I'm going, and being able to, I love YouTube because I love it to be like, I think it's a ginormous catalog of learning. That's why I call YouTube University, because there's just so much learning that can be done. And whoever experiences this moment in time with me watching this video, this is for you, hands down. No questions about it, because I am being manifested into your reality, and I am having you be manifested into my reality, because there is a soul contract that has already been taken care of by my higher self and your higher self, that at some point on this earthside journey that we would come together, so that way we would be able to exponentially, positively impact the universe in the collective growth, in the collective transition from the secular to the 5D and beyond. And with that, I'm gonna put a pin in it, do a little shoulder shake, a little dance, because I feel really happy that I finally did this. I'm gonna go put these 2 videos together, and I will be back, I don't know when, sooner rather than later, because I'm going to continue to show up for myself, and continue to show up for the collective, and continue to show up for all the souls that are assigned to me, because this is no joke. This transition from the secular, unplugging from the matrix, and transitioning into having an entire spiritual entourage, being in the 5D, being able to experience all of these energetic changes takes effort. It takes time. It takes consideration. And I know for me, there have been parts on my journey where I've had a support system, and then there's been other times where I have just relied on source as I'm working through different things. And I'm so grateful, because what I've recognized is that people will come in and out of my experience to help push me along, to open my mind's eye to new content, new ideas, to be able to integrate that into the things I already know, for the purpose of, you got it, my ascension, my expansion, my continued growth. And for all the souls that I have been assigned to, I'm so grateful for the experience and for their choice to say, you know what, even if I'm feeling scared, insecure, uncertain about whatever is going on, I'm still gonna put this content out, because I know that there are souls assigned to me. So now I'm stepping up. I'm saying this is my opportunity to pay it forward, to continue to move in the direction of my highest self. And that is by sharing what I have experienced, sharing the things that I'm doing. And really, that's why this is called Planet Kitten. It's my universe. I'm getting to continue to show up and have so much fun and joy and play and do the thing that I love the most, and that is learning. And then my second favorite thing is sharing what I learn with other people. So I'm looking forward to going back and seeing what this video actually turned out to be. I think it's going to be 11 out of 10, would recommend. And if you agree, please stick around, write some comments, share what you, if anything resonates with you of where you are in your life. And I look forward to the next connection. Catch you later, alligators. Blessings and abundance to each and every one of you. Good night.